cultural artifacts inside the building. This is what I actually came for. Rock carvings from as early as 7,000 years ago. So some of these have been painted so that they're easy to see, but the ones that earlier that I'd seen, they were unpainted. They started taking out the paint to preserve their original state. Yeah. As a kid who loves story time, this is something that I might really enjoy. And there's a guide on the story of all this rock carvings and stuff, and the stories that they also tell. So very cool. Absolutely. Chai's birthday. 3 for Chai, 6 for my birthday. Just a stretch, but this is it. The painted rock carvings. And of course, a beautiful view. If you turn around. This is a huge one. Like, y'all, this is a huge one. A couple more over there. And the path winds over that side. Takes you over a couple more. Takes you back to the building if you see those buildings on the far end. And then you go, like, to the left side of that building. Like, if you're facing it, you make to the other side of the other exhibition. Let's say the national exhibition, if you may. I'm chasing the sun because they say that wherever the light strikes is where you can see, like, the shadows that the carvings make because they're engraved naturally. But this is pretty cool too. Look at that. A lot of action going on in that story. I was asking about the wildlife because in case I dared to venture into the unknown. But my guide said that there's just foxes, deer, and moose. The moose were the more dangerous one in the sense that if they were stressed, they're typically not dangerous, but if they were stressed, they would be very dangerous. Kind of like some people. So this is a challenge when you try to check this out and the sun's not up and the carvings would have gone really faint. See, I'm beginning to appreciate this guide. Typically I'm not, I don't read much of the guides. I just want to see the pieces. I'm learning more about myself, my struggle at the Rijksmuseum and appreciating paintings. This one again, like these carvings tell like actual stories, like people drawing their lives back then. So the guide says drama at sea, which is interesting, and I think that's the carving over there. People on the boat. You know what? If I draw someone, that's probably how my drawings would look like. So I'm not a sophisticated artist. Okay, so there are carvings farther up over there. So it actually goes down. This is what I appreciated about the guide. So the guide that came with me yesterday. Hang on, let me just fix my hat. Yeah, so the guide that accompanied me on my turned out to be private tour for the Northern Lights. So the rock carvings, they go all the way, I think, up to the mountains, and there's a couple of rock carvings at the top. So basically the water level of the earth back then and over here, it just eventually subsided. And so as the people were able to go down the hill, that's why the rock carvings from the top, they're a little bit less developed, where as I go down the trail, I would see more stories, more characters of the stories, other people's lives here. That's kind of fun. Again, as somebody who's a history nerd, something that's interesting for me, and I just found it. Whoa, almost died. Yeah, so this is the Alta Museum, and it's from the rock carvings from many years ago. So guide says as early as 7,000 years ago. I gotta pay attention to these slats. They're slippery. I thought I was gonna keep an eye out for icy patches. No. Thank goodness my Columbus shoes. That is cordoned off. Let's follow the rules and make our way back up. Okay, time check is 2:48 p.m. 2:48. No, I think it's 1:48 p.m. I have basically 2 to 3 hours before I have to head back to the hotel to try the country style dinner, and then after 2 hours, I'm just basically gonna wait at the hotel, wait for my ride to do the Northern Lights tour. Hopefully this one's good, which is why you get to book 2 tours. It's kind of more expensive, but this is what I like to do, like the experience itself. So see how beautiful that is. Look at that. Not always about the premium thing, but really about picking your spots, choosing what you really like to do, what you want to spend the most on, most time, most money, and yeah, enjoying it, right? Rather than getting yourself stuck somewhere that you don't really like to be. Sun's gone down, not so much light anymore. Hopefully setting the stage for the Northern Lights adventure tonight. Alta Museum has been a very special experience. This is my face after and maybe more than an hour of walking and taking photos, practicing with my camera. Then I need to charge the batteries for it when I'm back at the hotel. I have a long ways to go. You see that building over there? 7, 10, 15-minute walk. Traveling alone has been fun for me. My guide last night actually said something. Like, he had a lot of very interesting things to say. It was just why I don't feel bad not seeing the Northern Lights, and for how much I paid. It was like really a private tour. I was lucky. So you get what you're given, and you enjoy it as much as you can, which I really thoroughly enjoy the conversations and the vans, like learning about this place that I'm planning to visit a lot more often, like maybe every 2 to 3 years actually. Visit this place. Like, oh my god, look at that, look at that. I'm somebody who enjoys efficiency, which is why I'm very happy and very proud. I've always say it, and again, it's not even just to toot my horn. We're really happy about how we got our Canadian citizenship, the efficient way, the cost-efficient way we got our permanent residence and all that stuff. It's really trimming down on things that you want to try and focus on and work on to get your goals. And for me, I enjoy travel. I've always lived a lifestyle because I was young, right? Because my parents loved to just be out and about. It just kept opening doors for me and opened my mindset into a life that's just active, that appreciates everything around me. So, yeah. Oh, look, I've worked out quite well because my arm was tired. But I guess you see the views there, right? It's like having grown up to be on the go and like how things like turned out for myself. So hopefully if you're watching it, you're either inspired to do your own thing, not necessarily do what I did, but you definitely have your own circumstances in life, but see where it's most efficient for you and where the odds are not stacked against you. Because I find that people would typically say that the odds are stacked against them. On some things, yeah, for sure, right? But there are odds that are in your favor. Watch your Hunger Games. There are things or cards that you gotta play, right? And not everybody's dealt a very bad card, I'd say. My arm's just going right now. This is an arm workout to get the forest. Yeah, so left side that I got accultured to, which is like always on the go one that my parents, through their own lifestyle, instilled in me. Yeah, just like brought me back to that time of my upbringing. That thing that my guide told me was like when he found out that I was from Canada and I was a solo traveler, he was like, this is going to be easy because Canadians, he said, are kind of like people from the US. They're kind of outgoing. They talk, but they don't talk as loud. Sorry, people from the US. But it's also not a drag to have them as guests for the time because they like to engage. They're pretty much engaged. That's one. Another thing too is that I'm a solo traveler. As a solo traveler, you're gonna have to put yourself in situations where you have to talk to people, and so that's another thing. What he probably doesn't know is whether even if I say I'm Filipino, I am probably the same thing. I don't know if there's been many Filipinos has been up here. I know when I was in Oslo, there was 5 like Filipinos that were there in a group, and we're pretty warm, pretty jovial, and we're sociable people. Like there are certain profiles or demographics where they're more simple, they're quiet, they're more maybe laid back. So it's hard for him. It's like a challenge for him to keep the conversation going. But that was interesting to be pointed at. Like solo traveler will always found themselves, or often, or maybe a lot more than the time that people are traveling groups, because then people who don't like to talk to others will be able to hide behind their more sociable friends. For us, if you gotta pee and you gotta go and you're traveling by yourself, at one point you're either gonna pee in your pants because you're just too proud to ask for help, or you're just gonna end up like, what the heck, I gotta pee. That's the best way that I explain it. But at some point I guess that's true. It's kind of fun to know about myself as a traveler. It was not again my intention to travel solo, but again, you gotta play with the cards that you're dealt. This is not steep, but I'm kind of tired. I probably still have hopefully an hour. I'm actually close to the building right now, so that's pretty cool. I probably have an hour to go by the river and show you the river, the mighty river Alta. What I heard was also a sacred place, like a very important place in Alta. It's a sacred place. There's kind of like a lottery where people get cards and when to fish there, when they can fish there. So the king goes first, and somebody who gets given the first card, the typical way is they would fish by the spot or close to the spot where the king would have gone fishing at the Alta River, because that would have been the best spot, because people would have chosen the best spot for the king. So a couple more story time, which I really enjoyed. And that's why I don't feel so bad not seeing the Northern Lights last night. It was kind of a workshop for myself, how to see the Northern Lights. If we do get a KP8, I would be okay. I would be set. I'd be able to actually see the conditions, what I would check on the app. Clouds, like crazy clouds that wouldn't move last night. Let me make my way up, charge up this phone, show you the River Alta, have my dinner, get picked up by the next tour guide. Hopefully see the Northern Lights. Let's go. Gotta pee, gotta pee, gotta pee, gotta pee, gotta pee, gotta pee. Let's go.